that bases acceptance on how well you follow the rules.
Right.
Hmm.
It's certainly not focused on human development or expanding to greater awareness. Actually, just keep your nose down, keep your head down, and do the right thing. And I don't want to. I don't want to sound like I'm being negative.
We're beating up this
I don't want to beat up
belief.
this belief. And also, I think the most important thing is this does not portray us as a noble species. God created us in His own image. Well, that's really nice, but He's really pretty judgmental. And I say He because it's a male God. Well, moving along, let's look at the Darwinian evolution theory. Now, I should say that evolution was thought of, thousands of years before. It was one of the Greek beliefs. But I'm going to focus on Darwinian evolutionist theory because that's the one that most people hold today. This is the sacred belief we were taught in school, and so most people, if you went through 12 years of forced education like I did, you left leaving that, we evolved from apes. And if you tell people that you don't believe this, look at you as if you have three heads. But like the creationist story, there are pros and cons, and there are a lot of well-written pieces pointing out how true it has to be, and also in shattering the myths. Okay, so the basic premise is everything evolved from basically single-celled animals that formed miraculously in water. One thing evolved to another, that we became humans. The mechanism that caused us to evolve was natural selection. Natural selection is the theory that if you have an adaptation and it works well, like if you eat a certain thing that's plentiful on the planet, or you can run faster, then you'll survive. It's really based on the survival of the fittest. And this is a belief that may be true. This whole thing may be true. But this survival of the fittest really has a major effect on society. For a materialist, like an atheist, there's no stretch. We evolved from lower species. We were I guess there were several ape-like species that were on the planet, and according to this theory, one became very intelligent and eventually ended up making Toyotas and things like that. So the upside to this one, it looks very scientific. No spirits or aliens or anything else non-scientific was involved. It forms a basis for modern biology and other sciences. Those are the people that hold this belief beyond everything else. I mean, there's no even phrasing as a belief. It puts in place competition as the driver of life, and certainly the flower in the bouquet, the human bouquet. We're competitive. And it also places us in a funny position where we're just another species. And we've come into being, and we can go into extinction. I mean, there's thousands of species go extinct every year. If you've ever seen the movie The Matrix 1, human beings, our species, is compared to a virus. A species that doesn't know when to stop reproducing, even though we've outlived our ability to expand on the planet. So we're not so valuable, and we could go extinct. The downside to this, it seems to be an unquestioned belief. Because it's so schooled into us, it forms a basis for sciences, it's not questioned. Well, actually, it is questioned. but when you do question, you get severely attacked. Um, and I think another downside is that it puts competition as the driver for life, and cooperation is kind of really pushed in the background in this really materialistic belief.
Hmm.
Good comment. Now the third one is about the Anunnaki from the planet Nibiru. This is a Sumerian tale, originally translated, or one of the original translators, the one that became famous is Zecharia Sitchin. A long time ago, in the 80s, Barbara Hand Clow produced all of his works, and when I read them, I was totally blown away and amazed. So these are from the translation of a clay tablet, many clay tablets. So here's how the story goes. A long time ago, the Anunnaki came to the planet Earth looking for gold. They started mining gold in South Africa, in a southern part of Africa, not in the country of South Africa. And sure enough, the people that came down here, the aliens that came down here, got tired of mining it. So they decided to take an ape-like species and combine their own DNA with that ape-like species to create humans, and we were created as mining slaves. Now, when I first read this, it made a lot of sense to me, but the more I think about it, the more I think about why would an advanced technological species have really slick ways of extracting gold and have to monkey around with. But, you know, this could be absolutely the truth. You've got clay tablets to back it up. But then again, you have it on the downside. I think you have the Anunnaki put in place a pretty hierarchical structure. They set themselves up as the rulers and the human beings, of course, were mining slaves, which isn't a real lofty position to hold, I don't think.
Well, that puts in place a system where you have some beings that are better than other beings, and a real inequality of
Right, it might set the table for the existence of the elites, the secret societies, controlling human beings, which are nothing more than mining slaves.
Right, and actually, since everything is totally controlled and deliberately put in place over very long periods of time, it serves a certain portion of the population to portray the rest of the population as less than and less deserving of.
Right, well, that's been done for a long time. But why would these particular tablets and this story be thrust into collective consciousness at this time in the 20th century? What purpose is it serving? Why is it leaving us? Right.
That's what to think about.
So in review of the beliefs that are held, there's the creationist story, which is promulgated mostly by the religions, which really controlled most of the dialogue down through history. You have the evolutionist story, which is mainline science, right up to the minute here, and then the other one, which is the Anunnaki.
I suppose that falls into more of a New Age.
It's kind of a New Age thing. It was. Now it's in the popular media with the Ancient Alien series.
It certainly seems to be being pushed more and more into more of a mainstream thinking arena.
Right. So if we were all creationists, I think developmentally we'd be limited. I think we'd be really rule-following I mean, if everybody really believed that, you know, you can't, I mean, the punishments and the rewards are so incredibly severe that you really wouldn't want to step outside the parameters. The evolutionist story is incredibly humbling, and it makes us really not occupy a space that as I think, a being, thinking, moral being with a soul and, you know, can see the wrongs and the inequality of humans across the planet. I think it portrays us as something less than we are. Now, you know, if everybody held this belief, which most people do, we're a survival of the fittest competition, the lure of capitalism and libertarianism, where, you know, my ability against your ability, and I'm really out for what I can do. It has a real strong basis in beliefs.
Well, it sets up perfectly the stage for the controlling elite to further their agenda, holding those beliefs. And I think that the truth of the matter is, if you grew up in the West, you were given three choices, and you pick one. You pick the one that sounds the most feasible. You know. All right, back to the three.
Back to the three. We have the creationists, we have the evolutionists, and then we have the ancient alien drama, where we're mining slaves. Again, not really. We're not really an independent species, not really a capable species, it seems. We're mining slaves, and we're kind of in need. I mean, they probably forgot their robots or something. I don't know, but it's not a very empowering thing. So if I were to hold either of these three beliefs, I would say, what does it give me in my life? What are the benefits of my holding this belief? And what are the downsides? Because if you're going to look for truth to substantiate these, and you have a computer that's hooked to the internet, you're going to be able to find supporting beliefs.
You mean supporting evidence?
Supporting evidence for beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, knock yourself out. If you want to try on other beliefs, I've got three right here that we're gonna go through in just a moment.
Just one thing, though. I mean, they're kind of insidious because really people don't actually give any thought to this at all, but it underlies all of their other opinions without them really actually ever giving it any thought.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that's kind of an important point to keep in mind, because I don't think people give any time of day to thinking about their origins.
Right. I think that the financial system is totally based on Darwin's evolutionary theories.
The whole capital system of economics, too, probably.
Right, and probably the other systems of economics. So that's not part of the topic today, but your morality structure is certainly based on the first story. And really, for some reason, in the 20th century, I noticed that the media, which is run by the elites, had us looking to the skies. So maybe that's part of the ancient alien lore. These next few stories may be a little bit more empowering, and the beliefs that they leave us with might put us in a little better place. The three stories are the story of the pneumos. The second story is going to be the story of the divine Sophia, and the third story is, I'm going to go over the yuga cycles if we get time today. So let me jump right in and start talking about the pneumos. Now, I might go on and off reading this, so bear with me as we get through here. The story of the pneumos comes from the Dogon tribe of Africa. And I don't know whether you've ever heard of the Dogon tribe of Africa.